So there's always going to be a point in an entrepreneur's life where they think, okay, how can I make this better? How can I make my business better? How can I improve our sales, our revenue? Like, there's always going to be a point where you try to elevate and evolve yourself and your business. That point for me was December 2020. I had already had that point in 2019 when I had an Etsy store that sold skincare products that I used to formulate and sell. And so it was like a full circle that the next following year, December 2020, I was asking myself, how can I evolve and elevate Sanai's skin? And I did not know how. At that point, I had over 20 plus products ranging from body butters, body scrubs, I had soap bars, I had whipped soap, there was facial scrubs, a facial cream. I think that was about it in December 2020. Prior to December 2020, there were bath salts, there were lip scrubs, and maybe some other stuff. But as you can see, I was trying to do any and everything I could to make Sanai's skin look fuller from a product line standpoint. Because back then, I thought if you had more products, you looked more established, you looked more official. People would trust you more if you had more products. That is far from the truth. And when you have so many different products and it's only you, it can become overwhelming. And it was overwhelming for me. I had all of these different products, but I wasn't making the sales goals that I had in mind. And I did not know how to make those sales goals. On top of that, I was struggling with product photography and content. I didn't have a brand voice at the time period. I didn't even know what a brand voice was. So I was missing a lot of key elements and key points on how to really elevate Sanai's skin. And I was insecure about product photography and how to take photos and what consistency I needed. Because you see so many different pretty pictures on Instagram, like, and on Pinterest, like it's not hard to miss it. And I was like, I don't have photos like that. I don't know how to take content like that. And it's not sustainable if you're a small business owner to continue to hire a product photographer to make content for you. Like, that's not sustainable. And I didn't have the funds for that either. So December 2020 came around and I had a pretty decent sales for December 2020. Do not get me wrong, but it was not good enough for me. And I wanted to make a change. So I started praying. I was, praying for guidance, praying for doubts to escape my mind, praying for insecurities to go away, because I knew that I needed to show up more for my business. And I was like, I was just so scared to show my face. I was like, I didn't really want to be the face of my business. And I was just dealing with a lot of doubts that I don't know where the doubts came from. I don't know if it's because of 2020 itself as a year, or I just did not think I was good enough, but there were doubts and there was insecurities that I was battling. And so I was praying on it. And like maybe a couple weeks later, a week or within that same weeks that I was praying for it, I ended up finding my mentor, and I ended up buying her course. My mentor is Donnie Brown. And I brought one of her courses, and she spoke that, you need to get a Shopify store, you need to be able to track these metrics and do this and do that. And so my business initially was on WordPress. So I quickly built me a Shopify store within one weekend, And I didn't even know how to do it. I was just like, there needs to be a change, so I'm going to make a change. And this is my first step at making a change, moving your store from WordPress to Shopify. So I spent a whole weekend, stayed in the house Saturday and Sunday, and just built a whole Shopify store. And I was like, it's gonna work. And it worked. It was a nice website. It was very pretty. It had everything you needed. It hit every point. It hit every point. It was a really great website. It was cohesive. I was able to transfer my products over from WordPress to Shopify. Everything was good. And I would always pray that I wanted to make X amount of sales each month and X amount of sales over the years. And so when I started taking her course, I really started getting serious about my sales goals, because even though I did not know how to get there, I always prayed for Sanai Skin to be an established company, to be an established business that would be worth millions of dollars, to be a multi-billion-dollar skincare company, because why not? You know, all these other businesses are. And the way I see Sanai Skin still to this day is Sanai Skin is not my business. Sanai Skin is God's business. God blessed me with this business. And I know that because a lot of obstacles that I went through with Sanai Skin. And so, you know, I would pray like, okay, God, this is your business. Help me grow your business. And so entered my mentor, and I became surrounded around a lot of female entrepreneurs. And I'm so grateful for that, because if you want to evolve, you want to elevate, you want to grow, get around like-minded people, get around people who's doing better than you. And a lot of those women were doing better than me. And I was like absorbing everything they were saying. And I was like, yes, okay. I never thought about that. Okay. And being someone who was just, you know, catching sales whenever they can, running Facebook ads, someone who had 20 plus products literally that were not cohesive. I just had products just to have products. I had products because other people would tell me like, hey, I need this. Hey, I need something for my face. And I'm like, okay, I got you. And so that ended up becoming like a thing for me. And I ended up having all these different products. And if you're struggling with product photography and you're struggling with content creation and your brand voice, like, how are you really going to sell all of these products? That was a problem for me. I had no idea how to sell all these products. And I really did not really know how to hit my consumer base in the way I needed to in order for me to get the sales that I wanted and I was praying for and I was hoping to achieve. And so I was like, I need to change. And I started looking around all the businesses around on Instagram. And I was seeing the difference between what small businesses looks like and what businesses I know for a fact is making over 100K a year, making almost $500,000 a year, probably more. And I was like, how are they doing this? How are they doing that? What are they doing? And my mentor would speak on a lot of things they were doing. And so I started implementing a lot of those techniques that she had in her courses and things that, you know, that would get me in front of new audiences. Because at that point I was just like, I was over running Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Like, if you're not really great at it, it's going to be a money pit. And I mean, I was making sales, but it was also a struggle. And to me also at the point in time, not worth it. Especially when you're trying to revamp and restructure your business. And at that time I wasn't thinking of, I want to rebrand Sanai Skin. That wasn't a thought process. I was just trying to figure out how to make it better. And I was like, okay, I'm going to cut the whip soaps because this is way too many products and I don't necessarily need this as a product line. after I cut the whipped soaps, I was like, I'm going to cut the face scrub and the facial cream. And I'm gaining momentum around the same time of me thinking I want to cut back some of these products, because I'm looking at other businesses and looking at how they operate, looking at the, speaking to the entrepreneurs around me and seeing how they're operating, listening to my mentor. I was like, okay, I'm going to cut back some of these products as I'm gaining momentum. Had a good sales month in December, had a really good sales month in January, and February at that point in time was like the best sales month I've ever had. I was doing all the things I needed to do. I was making reels, email marketing. I was doing everything I needed to do, and I was just loving it. But I knew that could be better. I knew there was something I could do better, and so I'm like, okay, I'm cutting back all of these products. And then I was like, I'm going to cut these soap bars. So you can see I was just cutting products, all the products that I had already entered into the business back in 2020. 2021, I'm just chop. You're not meeting a cutting block, because at that point in time, I was like, I want Sanai's Skin to not just be a better company, to not just flourish and to be a multi-million-dollar company, but I want Sanai's Skin to stand for something. And my slogan with Sanai's Skin always was, take care of your skin with Sanai's Skin. Your skin will thank you later, which it does. But I wanted Sanai's Skin to really be the product, like the skincare company that you would go to for all your body care needs. And I wanted us to stand firm on that. And I wanted Sanai's Skin to be that go-to company. I didn't want Sanai's Skin to be like just one of those everyday Instagram stores or Instagram small businesses that you see. I wanted it to be more. And I was like, okay, so let's just start fresh. And another reason why I wanted to start fresh and eliminate all of those products, including the soap bars, is because a lot of stores sell soap bars, which is nothing wrong with that. Soap bars are amazing. I love soap bars. But for me at that time period, soap bars wasn't something that I was crazy about, because it takes time for your soap bars to be ready to be sold and to be used. If you make soap bars via the cold process method, that means it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks for your soap bars to be ready to actually be used and to be sold, right? If you do the hot process method, which is what I used to do, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. And some people say extend it to 4 weeks. The longer the better. The longer you let your soap bars sit, the better they will be. So like there's really like letting it sit for 10 weeks, like the longer the better. But as a small business owner, you just have money sitting there that you wasted on it. Essentially, not, I don't want to say wasted, but you just have money sitting there. You spend all your money on all these different ingredients, and they're just sitting there because your consumer base can't use them now until you deem it fit. So whether that timeline is 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on how much water you put into the ingredients when you were making it, your money just sitting there. And as a small business owner, that was like, that wasn't good enough for me. Especially like when your soap bars are booming, and like say hypothetically your soap bars just taking off, and you probably only made like 50 soap bars, not thinking anything of it, and your business start taking off, and you like, oh shoot, so you start selling out your soap bars, and then now you got to go back and make them. Now your business at a standstill because you gotta take 4 to 6 or 8 weeks, however long you deem necessary for your soap bars to cure and for them to be sold again. I didn't want a business that wanted to wait until soap bars was ready. I didn't want a part of my revenue to be on pause for these products to be ready. So that was another reason why I cut my soap bars. So that left me with my body butters and my scrubs. And I was like, how can I make Sanai's Skin to be more cohesive? Because at that time period, prior to cutting my soap bars, I just had different products. They were not cohesive. They necessarily like a collection. I at one point in time, well, not one point in time, there was a period of time where I made them a collection, and they worked well, but like they were products that already existed that I just made into a collection. They weren't like an official like what you like with Fenty, like how that, like they wanted an official collection, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted it to be bigger and better, so I wanted an official collection. And being that soap bars takes 4 to 6 weeks for them to be ready, I was like, I want to bring in body washes. And when I got the idea of selling body washes, I was like, okay, we're gonna make our body washes to be identical to our soap bars, because everyone loved our soap bars. I had an activated charcoal soap bar, I had a Yanni soap bar, and everyone absolutely loved the soap bars. I would get, reviews from them. People would post them on their story all the time. Everyone loved my Yanni collection. Everybody spoke highly of it, and just gave a lot of positive reviews on it. So I was like, I want that to translate in my body washes. So we're gonna make our body washes to be identical to our soap bars. And this is how the rebranding process actually came about, because I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So we got our body butters, we got our scrubs, and now we're gonna do our body washes. And I went to my mentor. Granted, at this time period, sales is booming. Sanai Skin is evolving, honey. We are growing. We still in the month of February, and I'm like, I'm having the best sales month of my life right now. And I went to my mentor, and I was like, I think I wanna rebrand. And she said, okay, let's rebrand. I had no idea what it took to really rebrand your business when you are trying to elevate and really make a statement and really make something that is consistent, cohesive, and that can stand the point of time for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Like, I did not know how much it took to make something that was just what it is now. And we're going to talk about that in the next video.